What if you're not new? Bronze 3 and you've been playing since Season 1. Can I play? Well, yeah, you're in Bronze or Silver. Anyone Bronze and Silver is welcome to play in these workshops. But that being said, if you're still in Bronze 3 after playing for that amount of time, there is some significant issue in your gameplay. Maybe you go on tilt. I don't know, I haven't seen you play. Maybe you have really bad mechanics with your champion. Maybe you don't last hit well. Maybe you make bad decision calls in order to end out the game. Maybe you're not good at roaming, counter jungling. There's so many aspects to playing the game effectively, efficiently, and in order to carry teams. And that's not something that can really just be said, oh, well, here's the 3 steps to success. I mean, we can say, here's some areas that you should probably practice on, but unless we've seen you play, we can't really comment on what mistakes you're making. Tips on orb walking / kiting. Well, as soon as the projectile leaves, you want to start walking and cancel out the animation. That's something that is dependent on what champion you're playing, how much attack speed you have. So I definitely suggest practicing in a custom game. Just auto-attack minion walk, auto-attack, auto-attack walk, auto-attack walk, over and over again. Learn how well you can do it, and it needs to be just the back of your hand. You need to know how to do it properly. Bronze isn't just bronze, it's 5 bronze on a team. Yeah, but you're versus 5 bronze. I've smurfed many times through bronze. I've done a number of video series on carrying out a bronze with weird champions I don't play, all sorts of different stuff. So, trust me when I say, I can say from experience, if you're in bronze, it's very easy to carry out if you play better than a bronze player. And there's nothing wrong with being a bronze player. Maybe that's the level that you play. Maybe you don't take the game that seriously. Maybe you don't have that great hand-eye coordination. That being said, I'm pretty sure you can carry to bronze even with just like knowledge of the game, pretty much. Regardless, we are finished picks and bans here. Banned out is Fizz, Yasuo, and Braum. Yasuo's an interesting ban. He's starting to see a little bit more play now that he's been picked up in some competitive play recently. It also could be a target ban. It's difficult to say. They then, on the opposite team, have banned out Jax, Xin, and Master Yi. I mentioned in the last game that I don't think Master Yi is worth a ban at the moment, and that goes doubly for Xin. I actually really dislike Xin. Even during the Feral Flare, I felt the other Feral Flare junglers were better than him. His late game is just kind of mediocre. I don't like it. That's a lot of junglers banned out, though, so I'm not sure if that's a target ban or what. There's a lot of better bans that I could have seen thrown around, but none of them were really picked either, so just interesting. They then have a Lee Sin jungle, a support Karma, a mid Ahri, a AD carry Tristana, and I'm assuming that's a top lane Soraka. Soraka top's still pretty strong, not seeing as much play than it used to be. I would say that mid lane Soraka is a little bit better than top lane Soraka at the moment, but both are pretty viable. Support is actually seeing a little bit of resurgence as well, with Braum being such a strong pick at the moment. Then that's going to be versus a Heimerdinger mid, an MF, and Nami bot lane, an Udyr jungle, and a... not a Renekton, oh my god. Stabby Tabby, Rengar. Rengar top. Someone's saying Soraka top with heal. Heal or Ignite are both viable options on Soraka. Either work. Overall, it'll be interesting to me because bot lane on purple side, if they land a bubble, I'm not talking properly today. If they land a bubble, they're going to have a huge amount of damage, and there's no sustain on the enemy team to deal with that. Whereas Karma Tristana, they don't really mesh as AD carry support combos. Tristana is relatively decent early game, but horrible mid game. Tristana has a really bad mid game slump, and then she comes back late game if she makes it that long. Karma, on the other hand, has a very strong early game. Her mid game is still pretty strong. I wouldn't say it necessarily falls off, but unless she gets really far ahead, it's not quite as amazing as her early and late game. So they're not really covering each other's weaknesses, nor are they really exemplifying each other's strengths. So that concerns me a little bit. Alright, so we are loading into the game. Oh, that's the wrong display mode. Alright, let me just switch over the text here. There we go. I know, all the trolls in chat are amazing. Hey Johnny, welcome to the stream. Okay, so this is going to take a little while to load in. If any of you have questions about the matchups, about the team comps, or just about the game in general, any non-giveaway related question, feel free to ask, and I will try and get some hands. Wow, words still difficult. I don't play Vayne. I also don't Orbwalk that much. I mostly play AP casters. When you grow up, you want to be like me. That's a scary thought. You're new here. Well, we're very glad to have you, Johnny. Thoughts on Poppy? Very, very weak in lane. Hyper carry. I would say one of the strongest hyper carries in the game. If you get fed, if you make it to late game. That's relatively rare, though. I mean, she can't really stand up versus most champions. Should Soraka be nerfed? Yes, she's already being nerfed on PvE, and they're great changes. I really like them. What level am I on the swag meter? I would say like 3/4. I'm not very swagtastic. Smite Exhaust, Shyvana Jungle. If you are playing Shyvana Jungle, Exhaust is a pretty good pickup. Yeah, I'm fine with that. That was considered standard on Shyvana for a long time. Can you carry yourself out of bronze as a supporter without using a pre-made? Yes, I've carried out of every single division in the game using support. I played support, I played mid, and I've never had a problem carrying with it. That being said, if you are in a lower elo, pick a support that can scale on their own, that can win the lane just hands down by themselves. My favorite for that is Karma. Should they buff Nami or Janna? Nami is already very, very powerful. I would say that as soon as they do anything about Morgana and or Thresh, Nami is going to see a huge resurgence in popularity, and her skin is also really going to have a positive effect on her play rate. Oh, the non-traditional picks. Well, they're not non-traditional anymore. Okay, so starting builds here. Karma going for Spell Thieves. I've mentioned this many times in my own solo play. If I'm starting Spell Thieves, I like to start 3 pots. I also prefer to have the Mastery there, so I get a little bit of mana back from them. My standard build on Karma support is Pick, and then 3 health potions, 1 mana potion, so that I can constantly poke on them. What's Nami's new skin? It's on PvE if you check. It's a mermaid skin, which is kind of weird because she's already a mermaid, but it's like, she's like, I don't know, like a pond siren or something. It's weird. River spirit, yeah. But the whole concept is more like a siren. Note, the RP giveaway is open now. You can just enter it. Alright, so early invade coming out here. Not sure if they're going to go for the buff or not. Ari's actually moving up as well to help with this invade. So actually both supports doing the same thing with starting 1 ward. I really don't like that. Junglers don't gank that early at the moment. Unless they're going something like a Shaco, I would not start that early ward personally. I'd be focused on winning the lane through my own damage and sustain. Other than that, builds are pretty standard. No real surprises here. Alright, so good steal. I would have liked to see them call for a ward on their own red. Like, Tristana could have dropped that ward in there, and just made sure that they weren't being counter-jungled. I'm interested to see if... He should not try a level 2 gank. He's standing in the middle of 3 turrets. Just go take your blue and red. If you can start with 3 out of 4 of the buffs on the map, that's really, really good. So Rengar is going to have a lot of problems in this lane. Soraka has so much sustain. As soon as she hits level 2... She's actually starting Infuse. Interesting. Well, I suppose she has Heal Summoner skills, so that's fine. Good Mantra Q. As Karma, I'd stand a little bit closer so that I can more consistently poke with auto attacks and Qs. Because respecting, there is a 3-minute delay. There's also the delay that is built right into Twitch. So Udyr moving up for a gank. I would have liked to see him go through river so that you can guarantee you get in behind Soraka. I would then activate my stun before walking in so that you don't get silenced out. You need to be on the same page as Rengar here. Oh, so he went... Wait a second. You're not level 3, you don't have a stun. I wouldn't have gone in then. So this is what I would expect to see from Rengar, just constantly pouncing for free CS. Down bot lane, a lot of damage going on to blue side. They're not able to pick up the kill, and as a result, they are going to get some extra CS. A good bubble, but no one there to follow it up. If I were Nami, I'd back out and either go back to base and buy, or just sort of sit under tower and wait until I can get some last hits. Focusing my mana pool on trying to deal damage to the enemy team isn't going to set up anything for me, unless Udyr is able to go through river and collapse. But with how far behind he is, I would not expect him to do that. So Nami is opting to recall here. Udyr actually trying for a gank, but he is going to walk over a ward. I'm interested to see if blue team reacts to this in time or not. Udyr is wasting time here. You don't sit in a bush. You either gank or you don't. He had time to get in behind, but he did not go for it, so that's just a little bit wasted. Soraka does get that early kill thanks to the Lee Sin gank, so good job there. Back mid lane, Ahri's actually doing a really good job of keeping up in CS. She's only down about 3 CS, and Heimerdinger, I mean, she's always going to be in tower, and Ahri is not known for being a great farmer when she's pushed that hard. Alright, so not quite able to connect with her Mantrid Q, that's unfortunate. Takes a decent amount of poke in return. I want to see Nami trying to land a quick bubble here. A bubble followed by W, and the auto attack Q auto attack from combo from MF. That would set down a lot of pain. Yeah, so she didn't actually use her E during that fight. That would have been an extra 40 or so damage if played properly. In the meantime, Lee Sin coming in behind. The binding is down. Great bubble, actually. Lee Sin is here now, though, and I'm expecting... Oh, no, actually, Trist gets away with that. Another Mantra Q going down. Q up in 1 second. Not gonna... he stuttered that. That's really poor decision on his part. It looked like he wasn't going to go for it. I would have agreed with that choice. But then he turned around to try and Q and got caught by the bubble, giving Nami a free kill. So nice bubble. Very, very nice bubble. But I really have to question that decision of his to dive. So the Soraka ganks. Very nicely played, actually. This is going to be an easy, easy kill over to Ahri. So that roam coming out is absolutely beautiful. That's what you want to see. She's not running teleport, so it's pretty rare to see top laners roam without having a teleport. But given the fact that she can wave clear so easily, and at this point Rengar cannot, that's a great, great play coming out. Same thing coming out from Udyr, though. You don't really want to try and clear... not minions. You don't want to try and clear wards like that. you're either ganking or you're not. You should be playing like you're a rocket train. So in terms of lane matchups, Soraka's still very, very far ahead. She is now 2-0-1 and also 20 or 30 CS, sorry, 30 full CS ahead. So she's building up a huge, huge advantage for herself. Bot lane is pretty much even, same as mid. And jungle's, again, dead even. Alright, so let's see if this Udyr gank goes through. This time he's not delaying, going in with a stun. Not on the same page as Rengar, though. I really dislike that. Alright, so all the sustain going through. They do pick up the kill in the end. Lee's probably going to get that. No, the stun goes through. Heal goes down. And they're going to trade it out. Udyr's going to die instead. Oh, okay. That was a very, very well executed play. I really like Rengar for going back in there. I wish he would have gone in during the initial fight, though, and they wouldn't have had to do that outplay in order to win. The Q not quite connecting from Lee Sin just opens him up for a fully free kill. Great Nami bubble. I really want to see Nami putting the E on MF when she's landing these bubble combos, though. Alright, exhaust and heal blown. So Karma does have her early Sightstone, as does Nami now. That being said, the wards we see on the map right now are mostly pink wards. Now, I like the fact that blue team has dropped this many pink wards this early, but I would really like to see a couple more green wards. They have one on the enemy blue, that's nice, but from purple team, where's their Sightstone wards? Like, there's none in river, there's none in bushes. I just really would like to see that improved over time. Alright, so Tristana disengaging with her ult. Nami should be able to just tidal wave away. Little late. Little late's all I have to say on that. So that's a double kill. Oh, sorry. 1 for 1. It would help if I can remember what team people are on. Great mentored Q. Yeah, Soraka just building up a dominant lane there. This is one of the reasons I'm banning Soraka pretty much every game now. Trist not able to set anything up. If I were her, I would have waited till I had my E up. So then when I jumped in, I would have auto attack E autoed. Back mid lane, pretty much the same thing happening, where they're just going to constantly be pushing in. Ahri's landing some decent poke, actually, so that's a really nice advantage for her. But there's not a lot of kill potential in this lane. Still, I have to give huge props to Ahri here for being able to last hit so well when constantly shoved into turret. Alright, so Udyr and Lee both trying to collapse in on mid. Ahri leads with the ult, but she does not have any mana. She is going to be able to clean that up very nicely, though. Flash is away. The flash is a little much, seeing as Soraka did already heal. Now Soraka's heal for the Soraka is here, not heal, for the cleanup. Q connects this time, but not going to be enough. Rengar trying to roam down. If I were Rengar, I probably would have just continued farming because he's not going to land anything there. It's 1v3. Yeah, I really dislike his decision to roam. Alright, so he's roaming back in with his stealth, and they're just going to get a double kill off of it. Again, same thing. I dislike them trying to do these roams when he doesn't really have burst anymore. He can't zero out a target, so if he can't zero out a target... That being said, he did have his ignite. He should have killed Lee. But even still, you were trading yourself out for one kill. Great mentored Q. Good re-engage there. Triss is dead. Yeah. That was just really, really well set up by Karma, but Nami was able to stall just long enough so that MF was going to be able to clean up. That being said, if the game keeps accelerating like this with Tristana getting so many kills, then I would expect to see Triss not having her normal mid-game slump. She's going to get those items really early. Abyssal choice. Interesting. I don't know if I completely agree with the Abyssal on Ahri. I mean, yes, your versus a magic damage, but the fact that she didn't go for any mana regen seems a little cocky. Oh, not quite able to connect with the taunt, but in the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Great, great roam coming down for Soraka. I've commented it many, many times. I really like how she's playing, how she's manipulating herself across the map. MF does more damage with the second bounce of her Q. Alright, so good mentor Q coming across. That being said, Udyr is here and he's angry. Karma should be taken down here. I don't think the flash was necessary. I think there was enough burn on to set that up. But at the end of the day, it's still good to just make sure that you do get the kill. Tristana not quite laying down enough damage here. Yeah, she's just too close. And MF is going to clean up. Now Ahri is here. Ahri does not have ult though. So she should only be able to get one of these. Or she's going to get more. No flash though. Okay. So that time the roam from Rengar did work out. I dislike Ahri's decision to try and 1v3 even with him that low. I would have stayed max range, tried to land a charm. Unless I can land the charm, I'm not going to go in. It's unfortunate that she didn't get the second or third kill, but I disagree with it. You have no summoners, and you have no ult. In the meantime, Heimerdinger putting down a lot of pain on this tower. Now Karma should, yeah. Karma's going to be able to wave clear this enough so that the tower is not going to fall. So I'm interested to see what build Rengar goes for. I'm assuming it's a Hydra build. That would be pretty standard. Very nice. Her charm's coming up in 2 seconds. Karma's landing some really good mentored Qs, but they're not in a position where they're really going to win a game, or win a team fight in this case. I might like to see them used a little bit more reactionary. Alright, so a bunch of pings going on. You only need to type raffle once. Ooh, that's actually surprising that that knock-up didn't cancel Tristana. She jumped right after the wave went through, so it didn't cancel it out this time. Alright, her ult not up again. So good shield cycling here, and this is now Free Dragon. I really like that initiative. Take away the globals, continue building up a gold advantage, and just not give anything back to purple team. Trist is not actually a jump, it's a dash. Ooh, I don't agree with that decision. I don't know why Lee Sin went in there. The rest of his team was going to be able to clean up regardless. I think he should have just backed out. How'd the workshops been so far? Pretty decent. Okay, so just taking another quick peek at farm and build order. Soraka, obviously very dominant. I mean, she's just roaming between lanes, setting up plays for her team, and destroying Rengar in terms of farm and kill potential. Iceborne Gauntlet is fine. I'm fine with it. It's not the standard, but it works out really well with her style of play for the wave clear, for the chase potential. So I'm fine with her build so far. And then she's going to be getting an Hourglass next. Lee Sin, his build is fine, and he's not falling too far behind, but I haven't really seen any good ganks coming out from him. Great charm coming in. It was a pretty predictable kill, but it was well executed. No one was really on the wrong page. They set up the kill and then collapse onto the next targets as needed. Hey, the charm actually reconnects because Udyr walks back in, and as a result, they turn that one pick into what should be 4 kills here. Lee Sin gets the ward kick back, and that's a triple kill for Tristana. So that's yet another thing to cancel out Tristana's relatively weak mid-game. And that's just not something Purple Team can allow to happen. The decision to continue doing blue buff when you know they're cycling in behind you, that's really questionable. I don't agree with that. Ahri, I still dislike her build. I would like to see an Athene's in there somewhere. I also would not mind seeing a DFG. The Abyssal Scepter, it's not like she's being harassed that much in lane. She's just sort of sitting under tower and farming. So the decision to go for the Abyssal, I question it. And then Tristana's build's fine, and same with Karma's. Poor Lee Sin. He keeps trying to go in on these, and there's just not much reason for him to. Alright, so the Nami ult does catch out Ahri, but it's not really going to do anything for him, and she is still tanking tower. Rengar does pick up the kill on Tristana, and looks like Soraka's going to fall. A little bit of an overstay there, that's for sure. Oh, the charm does connect, but not enough mana. Mana comes through just at the right time. I keep wanting to tell her, buy a chalice. Buy a chalice. But she's playing well, so I can't hold it against her too much. If your build works for you, even if it's not technically the most efficient thing, you should at least consider the alternative builds. But still, at the end of the day, you're going to build what you want to build and what works for your style of play. Those builds are wrong then. If you don't build lifesteal first, then you pretty much lose. IE is a great second or third item on Tristana, but Last Whisper is also a very good item. So her build is fine. I didn't say it was the best build she could possibly do, but it's fine. It's fine for how she's playing. That's why Tristana is not played, because her build order is always clunky, no matter what you build, and she does have options for her build. But her build order is just so awkward to actually use. You like Bloodthirster over Blade of the Ruin King. Yes, that being said, Blade of the Ruin King actually weakens her mid-game slump. So it's a decent item. Either are good options. If you're building Blade of the Ruin King, though, I would not be building this Zeal. I'd be rushing towards Infinity Edge. Again, because once it's finished, there goes your mid-game slump, you're ready to fight. Good attempt at a disengage, but this just really is not going to work out for them here. Alright, so that's a double kill over for them. I want to see them take either mid-inhib or Baron. Tristan at this point can do a Baron. Oh, Soraka. So, the Golden Woman wins again, and this is just a lesson in trying to fight Soraka when she's far ahead. There's a reason I ban her pretty much every game, because if someone plays her and they actually know how she works, it's just such an annoying lane. It's so dominant. Why not Infinity into Phantom Dancer? That's fine, but you still need lifesteal first. If you don't build lifesteal first, you've forfeited any option to trade or deal any damage in the game. Like, that's a slight exaggeration, but you will lose every trade because you don't have sustain. Alright, so good pick up there. But again, this is just blue team overstaying. They don't need to be doing that. That flash was also not needed, but good escape. And now the cavalry is here. Charm goes through, damage goes through. Great bubble, but should have been dodged. Alright, great job. Blue team has been playing this phenomenally well, just in how they're cycling between lanes and setting up plays. I'm really disappointed with purple team. A little bit to do with their team comp, to be perfectly honest, and it's not that you can't play these champions, but the champions just don't work well together. They don't have any real lockdown, they don't really have too much to set up for themselves, and I don't know. Glider, I'm not from the States, I'm from Canada. I've never been to California. That being said, you should definitely be visiting Riot headquarters so that I can be jealous and cry myself to sleep. But yeah, sorry, as I was saying, purple team really doesn't combo well together. And that's unfortunate. And, well, you might really want to play Heimerdinger, or you really might want to play... I don't want to pick on people, but like pretty much any champion on their team besides Nami. Nami's a pretty generic pick and works with almost anyone. But if you want to pick these champions, you need to make sure that they're working in your team comp and in your matchup. And honestly, they just really don't. And I think that's one of the things that's really costing them here. Alright, so I really want to see them just end the game here. They can take a very quick Baron, or they can split out and do top bot split and just completely end the game right off that. Because Soraka is such a dominant split pushing force at this stage of the game. She's very fed, she has all the items she needs to do her job. The giveaway is right now, Bart, so you just have to enter it. We're drawing the prize at the end of the current match. Not quite connecting with the charm. Excuse me, not quite connecting with the charm that time. Doesn't really matter though, because no one's getting caught. The damage from Soraka right now is just crazy. Yeah, this fight on Soraka just makes me laugh a little bit, because even when they're catching Soraka out, they can't do any damage to her. Alright, so another good pickup, and that should be the end of the game. Just end the game, please. Nightbot is alive, yes. Alright, so we are drawing the RP card. It is a $10 RP card for the North American servers. Unfortunately, RP cards only work on one server. That's the only one we have access to. So I apologize to our foreign friends. We do have other giveaways to give to them as well. So, thank you for playing in this game. Anyone who wants to play in the next workshop, please make sure you're in the proper chat rooms. Brian, aka Felvrick, will be the one doing the invites. So make sure that you accept those. If you don't know what rooms to do or how the workshops work, then just type !workshop and it'll give you all the instructions. In the meantime, I'm going to do a final comment or two on playstyle and builds, and then we're drawing the giveaway. Ari, I had some concerns with her not having mana regen. She played it fine, though, and she picked off a lot of people. So I can't really judge it, but I would just have her keep in the back of her mind that mana regen is pretty potent on Ari, when, I mean, she has some pretty high mana costs. Karma, great job. No real complaints there. My only question is this Crucible. What's it supposed to be removing here? It can remove Nami Bubble, and it can remove Udyr Stun. It doesn't remove Nami Ult because it's a knock-up. And it's not as though there's a lot of priority CC coming in on them. So I'm assuming it's just part of her standard build. But in that case, I would have built more damage, probably, or some tankiness. Or even, hell, just finished it up into an Athene's and just had more damage CDR. Because the CDR gives you a mix of damage, utility, and just pretty much everything you could ever want. Lee Sin had a lot of issues with his early game, but it really didn't matter. His build order is fine. I'm surprised he doesn't have a single damage item on them, though. Usually as a jungler you want one damage item and then full tank, but in this case it didn't matter. I mean, his team was far enough ahead. We had a comment for Tristana that you didn't need to finish up the Static Shiv. Once you have Blade of the Ruin King finished, you can pretty much go right from Blade of the Ruin King into Infinity Edge because you're maxing Q earlier on Tristana now. I like the early Last Whisper, but I agree that you could have either gone Blade of the Ruin King, Last Whisper, and then Infinity Edge, or Blade of the Ruin King, Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, and then finished up a late game Static Shiv, or more likely a Phantom Dancer. Soraka, absolutely dominant force. I really liked how she was roaming throughout the game. Her build is perfectly fine. She made it work for her, so I'm happy with what she did. Udyr, I had complaints with him essentially just for standing on wards and being like, should I gank? Should I not? Should I gank? Should I not? If you've shown up, you've already committed to gank. So just walk into the lane, try and stun someone. If they don't, like if they respond super fast and run away, okay, you leave. But there's no point just sort of sitting in a bush trying to wait for a possible gank. You're either ganking or you're farming. You need to be doing one of those two things. Sitting in a bush is neither of them. MF, she played fine. I had no huge complaints for her. She actually farmed really well, so good job there. Her build order is fine for what you would expect from an MF. Heimerdinger, not a great pick. I really don't like Heimerdinger as a pick at the moment, but it's fine. Nami, I would have been using your E whenever you landed a bubble onto MF so that she can land her auto-attack Q, auto-attack combo. Overall, your bubbles were fine. You need to position a little bit better, maybe ward a little bit more. But overall, no huge complaints. You landed some really nice bubbles. You were playing properly. Rengar, he tried to place a lot of emphasis on counter roaming rather than just constantly pushing. Obviously, Soraka is going to outpush you, but if she leaves the lane, you have to make something happen for your team. And a lot of the times that happened, I saw you attempt to roam and fall further behind in farm. And then your roam generally didn't work out. Rengar doesn't have that much burst early game anymore, so I really can't comment on it too much.